experience, which is like one room and a jacket which fits perfectly, I would basically ask that friend to give me more reason outside of the convenience of explaining this coincidence to believe in that infinite set of jackets, to think that it's actually true, right?
I mean, in the end of the day, that's really what we do. We try to explain the confluence of data that seems to lock together with such a gratifying and impressive cohesion, just like your perfect jacket, inscribed in just the right way. And
this is that jacket.
It's beautiful. I agree with your cameraman.
Yeah, right.
And so what we try to do is to write down equations that will give us some insight into how it could be that there's a process that starts in the Big Bang and results in the things that we are now experiencing. Now, are there certain things that might be pure coincidence? Like, could it be pure coincidence that the gravitational constant and the electromagnetic force have just the right values to yield the qualities that allow us to exist? It could be coincidental. It could be really causative. It could have been, had the values been different, they would have caused something else. And that something else, if it had consciousness, might be in the same quandary, saying, why were the constants just the right value to allow me to exist, and yet they'd be different than the constants that we have? And so you have to be careful about seeing things and being impressed at their uniqueness when they might not be unique, and impressed at how they are designed when they may not be designed. They simply may be what they are, and you are the result of those features. They weren't set in order to get you to exist. They were set maybe by some random process, and you are the output of that random process. What we do as conscious beings, we tend to look at our environment and try to explain it in terms that somehow give us a narrative, a story. And we love stories that somehow have a purpose. But these stories may not have a purpose.
Oh, it was divine.
It may just be random events with random numbers that yield, based on their structure, certain outputs. And we may be the output of those random qualities.
So at risk of belaboring the point, because we're speaking quite generally here, in particular the multiverse, like I say, outside of this convenient explanation of certain phenomena, but not in such a way that it's like,
oh, what's up,
a predictable, testable hypothesis. Just this makes some sense of what we see. Do we have good evidence outside of that for the multiverse? When I spoke to David Deutsch, he was firmly convinced. I mean, he said he didn't believe in the multiverse.